Okay, so, I am actually going to be making a video involving Arielle. She has been blowing up the trans community recently because of several of her videos which have been a little less than polite or correct, and a lot of her shit seems to be problematic. Now, I hadn't seen any of her videos until I actually saw Kat's video on this, and I went to go see what exactly this was, because I had never even heard of her before. And once I saw this video, let me tell you right now, I could definitely tell that she's in it for the fame. But I'm going to go through this, and I'm going to try to give as a constructively critical review of it as possible. And I'm going to try to not turn into a huge raging bitch, which is going to be difficult. Alright. So I'm just going to play this through so you guys can hear what exactly is going on in this video while I do this, so you guys won't be in the dark, and you'll know exactly what I'm commenting on. So, yeah, here we go.
If I showed you these two pictures, would you be able to tell which person was trans and which person was just a butch lesbian? Of course, you can't tell the difference.
Okay, now that right there, that already opens the gate to an entire slew of problems, because that's saying that it's socially acceptable and okay to try to figure out who is trans or not, which is, to me that's a lot like trying to out somebody that doesn't want to be outed, or say if they have come out with it, that's like attempting to see them for something they're not. Like, I know I'd be offended if somebody walked up to me and said, "Oh wow, you look very butch lesbian today. Boy, thanks." You know? Because it's just like, I don't want to look like a woman. I want to look like a dude. That's what I am. I'm a dude. Not a butch lesbian. Okay.
Reason for that is just because people's gender expressions are similar doesn't mean their gender identity is the same. But I think I can understand where people get confused. If you are a butch lesbian, you are a woman choosing a more masculine gender expression, which, quite honestly, is usually how most trans men present themselves.
Oh, okay. Trans men do not present themselves as butch lesbians. Trans men present themselves as men. That's the difference. The difference is that while trans men and butch lesbians might be wearing something that's similar, say, I'm gonna go with flannel, because that's the most stereotyped thing, that in no way means that butch lesbian is synonymous with trans man. It just means that somebody happens to be wearing the same style of clothing as somebody else, or that a trans man happens to like flannel, or that a butch lesbian happens to like flannel. Clothing really has, well, it does have some weight in the community, because yeah, you do look better in some things, not always. This is all depending on personal preference. All of it. But personal preference in no way means that you're going to look, or that you want to look, like this other thing that you do not want to look like. And saying that trans men dress like butch lesbians is a little bit insulting to me. And probably other men out there as well, trans men. Because that just brings it all right back around again to misgendering, which is, I can, like, well, the first time I watched this video, I could tell immediately that that would be a problem in this video, that misgendering would definitely be a thing, and that there wouldn't be really any apology for it, or any please make an effort to not misgender trans men just because they might share some of the fashions that butch lesbians do, I could tell immediately that that was not going to be a thing. Okay.
And if they are pre-op trans men, there's usually not much of a visual difference. So if that's the case.
Okay. That's... oh my god. That is singularly one of the most insensitive things a person can say. I am actually pre-everything. Pre-T, pre-top surgery, anything. And, yeah, I fucking know that I'm not always gonna look masculine. I fucking know that I'm not always going to look on point. But does that really mean that I want to be compared to a butch lesbian? No. That just means that I have one more thing to worry about, on top of everything else, on top of being looked at as a woman, on top of being misgendered by people I don't really give a shit about, but still somehow make me feel bad about myself, even though I don't even know them. I don't need this person. I don't need somebody like Arielle spreading a whole lot of... I just don't need somebody who isn't trans saying shit like this about trans men, or anybody, really. Because it's just complete and utter crap. She doesn't know how hurtful that is, and, I don't know how she doesn't know, because she's gotten a lot of feedback from the community, she's gotten a lot of people chewing her ass out, she's gotten video responses out the ever-loving asshole about this shit, and she's still doing this. Alright, let's go.
What is the real difference between just being butch and being trans? I think we should bring in an expert.
Okay, so, the big difference is that butch lesbians are women. Trans men are men. Okay.
Boys dress more femme, and many lesbians dress more masculine. And I think the key is that there's a huge difference in feeling masculine and feeling like a boy. Because
yeah, there is. There is a huge difference in dressing masculine and feeling like a boy. I put air quotes around that because I feel like that that language can actually be a little bit insensitive. I'm not saying that it is to everyone. To me, personally, I have always taken offense that somebody will ask me and just be like, oh, how long have you felt that you're a boy? Well, I've known that I was a boy since about, well, let's just say the first memories I have. I never thought myself as a girl. I've never felt like I was a boy, because that implies that there might be room for error. Or that the person might be feeling something that they aren't.
not all boys are masculine, and not all masculine are boys. And that's the difference between gender expression and gender identity. Trans women, they express themselves in a very feminine manner.
Not all trans women express themselves in a very feminine manner. Not at all. Trans women express themselves however the fuck they want to express themselves. Some of them do it in a more feminine manner, others don't. It just matters as to how they, as a person, feel.
But that doesn't mean that a butch lesbian feels any less of a woman than a trans woman does, because that's their gender identity. Well, my next question would be, what does feeling like a boy or feeling like a girl mean? In my personal opinion, I feel like, as somebody who has been on both sides of the gender spectrum, as a transgender woman pre-op, being a woman to me doesn't have any relation to my birth sex whatsoever.
Okay, I paused this at the wrong time, but this is where I would like to reel it back a little bit. You would really think that since she's talking about trans men and lesbians that she would have brought in a female-to-male transgender person. But, I guess for some reason that didn't make sense to her, and instead she's having somebody who isn't female-to-male be the authority on it. I mean, I don't know.
I'm one of the few trans women I feel like doesn't, feel the need for sex reassignment surgery to be a woman. Because I am a woman. I present myself as a woman on a daily basis because I have one in my head, and my body looks like one. So what is one small characteristic of my body to change everybody else's perception and, opinion on me? Gender identity and gender expression can go hand in hand, but you don't have one to be the other. I think the answer is that it's different for everybody. I want to know one way that you guys gender bend. What?
Okay, so, I don't know what she means by gender bending, because, I almost feel like that implies that, and I might just be really reaching here, but this is my own personal opinion on this video, but, it feels like she's saying that, the way trans people express themselves is bending what gender they actually are, and that feels very transphobic to me, because it feels like she's implying that the gender they actually are is the one they were designated at birth. And, I don't know. That just it rubs me all sorts of the wrong way. But I could just be nitpicking. I'm gonna say that right now. I could just be nitpicking because I do that to people who seem purposefully ignorant. And, I'll finish this now.
Whatever that means to you. Maybe you're a boyfriend who likes to cross-dress. Maybe you're a girlfriend who has a really short lesbian-style haircut. And I know that you guys have been begging me to figure out a way how to have, like, a little group chat text with all the girlfriends.
I'm not exactly sure what boyfriends cross-dressing or girlfriends with lesbian haircuts has to do with trans men being misgendered as lesbian women. But, okay.
And boyfriend, so if you want to talk to all of us in a little group chat, download the app Let's Make sure you follow me on there and use the hashtag GirlfriendTV so I can invite you to the chat. If you follow me on there, I will be sure to follow you back. I will follow back every single one of you guys. And if you have the time, make sure you go and give all my posts 3 stars, because, why not? Because, yes, do that. Exactly, Arielle. If you guys want to check out more of me on the internet, my YouTube channel will be in the description down below, so go check that out. Make sure you go and check out the other videos in Trans Women Week by clicking the link in the description. I will see you guys back here next Monday with a brand new video. I love you. Until then, look inside into the moon. Bye!
Okay, so now that that's over, I'm gonna say this right now. I actually have not watched any of her other videos yet. I haven't seen, the, infamous Vagina Pride one, but I have heard about it, and I feel like that is an extremely touchy topic. I feel like that topic should best be left to trans men who know exactly how they feel and exactly what they're comfortable with. I feel like they shouldn't be told by cis people how they should feel about their own bodies. I feel a whole lot of things about that Vagina Pride thing. And, every single one of them kinda relates to the fact that, I am not okay with somebody who is not a trans man telling other people to have vagina pride when, there's things to think about like dysphoria, or the fact that sometimes being proud of having a vagina can actually lead to being misgendered, or the fact that being open about that kind of thing can end up in people getting hurt. or the fact that if you say that you're a guy with a vagina and you're proud about that, you are going to open yourself to a whole slew of questions that you might not want, or even the whole, I forgot what it was. But there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of stealth. You can't really have vagina pride if you're stealth, and a lot of the FTM community does that. A lot of the FTM community definitely does the stealth thing, and telling this community to have fucking vagina pride is like, I cannot even begin to say the level of insensitivity that holds. If I was gonna give her, like, the benefit of the doubt, I would say maybe she meant well, but I would actually have to watch the video on that. You know what? I'm actually gonna do that. I'm gonna do that right now. This is gonna end up longer than I thought, and I really don't give a fuck, because this needs to be talked about.
Loving yourself and loving your current life situation are two totally different things, and if that doesn't make sense to you, I promise it will. Just keep watching.
Okay, so, shit. Okay, sorry, I'm still getting over being really fucking sick, and it's not a fun time, but, I, found the video, and I found another video that also touches on it, by the same person, by Arielle, I don't know which. So, let's have a listen.
So you still have
Okay, so, I found the video. Let's see what she has to say.
So you still have
Okay, so that question is very invasive. Asking a trans man if he still has a vagina, to me, feels like a very large breach of privacy, or it even seems disrespectful to me, because it's like some trans men won't like even having the word vagina applied to them or their bodies. Some trans men call it their front hole. Some trans men just don't even refer to it. And, I don't know, I just feel like it's very, it's a very controversial thing to ask, especially at the start of a video, because, if somebody doesn't know better, they might take this as a, hey, yeah, you can ask this, it's okay. And, I feel like that's misinforming a lot of people.
Good morning, girlfriend, boyfriend, and everyone else in between. I have a special guest to you. Ryan Casada, bitch. It is about that time to say, hey everyone, my name is Ryan Casada, and I'm a singer-songwriter from San Francisco. And he came just to visit me. And so you are a trans guy, and there are no movies here, right? Why did you decide to get top surgery?
I feel like, asking there are no movies here is about the same level as you still have a vagina. And, it just feels kind of disrespectful, but, again, depending on the person, since she knows him, and, invited him there, they might have discussed this. I don't know the, background to this at all. So, I will withhold my judgment on this.
I got top surgery because it makes me feel a lot more comfortable if something I was waiting to do all the time I was binding, and I really just couldn't wait. So you felt like this was enough to make you feel like a man, right? You didn't need... Wait, hold on. You actually never had bottom surgery, no? So you still have... You still have a vagina, technically.
That to me just felt really staged. I don't know.
Reason to be ashamed. Why did you decide to get one and not the other? One, bot surgery is hella expensive. I don't know. I can't even imagine. Yeah. And two, I'm really comfortable the way I am now, which I never felt this way in my life, so it's like a whole new page for me to be comfortable with my body. So for all the people out there that are trans guys that have a vagina, have some pride, okay? That vagina is amazing. And you know what? Vaginas have like 8,000 nerve endings, and you still only have 1,000. Speaking for my...
You can't tell all trans men to have pride in their business. You just can't. That's saying that every trans man feels the same. That's saying that you know better than them and that you know that they should have pride in their parts that they may or may not be okay with. That is basically saying that if you don't have pride in it, then what the fuck is up with that? Because it's just... I know that a lot of trans guys will feel really fucked up about that shit. And telling those people who are fucked up about that shit that they need to have pride in that point of anatomy that gives them grief, that gives them suffering, that gives them anxiety attacks, that makes them depressed, that some people even will consider killing themselves over, is just fucked up. Like, how can you tell somebody to have pride over that? How can you tell somebody and feel good about it? To have pride in something that is causing them so much suffering or so much dysphoria? How? I don't even understand it.
My own personal experience, I'm trying really hard to accept myself better down there and like actually call it something and stop like thinking crazy about it, you know, and just having like vagina pride basically. And I think that this would be a good step.
If you can do that, good on you. If you can't do that, then nobody should fucking judge you for it. If you can actually have vagina pride, good for you. But if you can't, also good for you, because you are doing what is healthiest for you, what is best for you. You are not trying to force yourself to do something that might make you uncomfortable, that might make you dysphoric, that might fuck you up, that might even feel like it's invalidating your identity as a trans man, if that's how you feel about it. And, vagina pride, oh, whoop-de shit, it can be good in some cases, but not all of them. Never all of them. Like, my personal feeling on my downstairs mix-up is that I don't really like the idea of calling it a vagina. I don't really want to have pride in it because it's there. It's actually caused me a lot of physical problems, not just mental. And while I don't have that much dysphoria relating to it, when somebody refers to it as my pussy, or my vagina, or whatever the fuck else slang there is for it, I get iffy. And I don't want to have pride over something that makes me iffy. I can have pride over the fact that, well, shit, I can have pride over the fact that I am FTM. I can definitely have pride that I am going through something with my other trans brothers and my other trans sisters. And I can have pride in the fact that I am currently persevering and existing and not too fucked up over it. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. Today I'm not. But vagina pride? Fuck no. I'm not gonna have that. Other people can have that. I will be proud of them with them if they have that. But I don't want to take the advice of somebody who isn't trans. I don't even understand how she feels like that's an okay thing to say. At all. Like, I don't know. Let's see what else she has to say.
For a lot of people because a lot of people can't really afford bottom surgery, or maybe they just don't want it. Well, also just because you have a vagina doesn't mean that you are a woman, right? We already know that. So it's not even about being a woman, it's about being Orion. You gotta have...
Okay. That is an extremely, optimistic point of view. But, let's see where she goes with this.
Pride, or George, or whatever the hell your name is out there. The whole point is, like, we need to break down these social constructs, so we need to know that, like, vagina does not mean woman. So we also did a video...
Okay, I will be the first to admit that no, vagina does not mean woman. But, the problem is, with, trans people, there is a lot of pressure on to conform to social constructs of man and woman, to conform to stereotypes and shit like that, and I feel like that's actually something that society as a whole will have to overcome, and not just trans people. And I feel like that, in a way, being expected to have pride in yourself is just bullshit, because it's okay to not have pride in yourself, because sometimes you just can't. And not having pride in yourself doesn't make you, like, a fucked up person, it doesn't make you a terrible trans person, it doesn't make you terrible at all. Because not everybody can muster that within themselves. And, I feel like this can be incredibly damaging. Like, this outlook can be incredibly damaging to people who can't muster that up, because they're going to feel even worse about themselves, because, I don't know, they might feel like not being able to have pride in themselves means that, they're even more fucked up than they already presume themselves to be, than they already think themselves to be. And, I know I've had times where I have not had pride in myself, and if I had seen this video, it would have fucked me up. Because I would have felt like there was something wrong with me. Like, it's just fucked up. Because, I don't know, it's just not a very good thing to be saying to a group of people that you're not even a part of.
Over on my channel, so you can click his face, actually it'll probably be up here. I will see you guys back here on Monday, and we're going to be playing second week, so be excited. And until then, don't forget, look inside and to the moon. I'll see you guys then. Bye. The straight woman.
Okay, so that was that video, and now that that's done, I'm actually going to real quickly go on to another one where she actually talks about the, I think the backlash. I'm not 100% sure because I did not watch all of it before I found the one that I was looking for, which was the one we just listened to. So I'm going to real quickly go over there and start this one over. And it's titled, "It's Okay to Be a Man with a Vagina." Let's have a listen.
Loving yourself and loving your current life situation are two totally different things. And if that doesn't make sense to you, I promise it will. Just keep watching. Good morning, girlfriends, boyfriends, and everyone else in between. This is a bonus Friday video. Next week is Pansexual Week, and Sky and I wanted to come back and touch on some of the things that just a few of you guys had an issue with in my Monday video with Ryan. The main issue being that people didn't like that I said that trans guys should have vagina pride.
A few commenters were saying things like, OMG, why are you saying that? Don't try to make us something that we aren't. And then use trigger warning. See, the thing is, I don't really...
Okay, so I'm not sure who this is. I probably accidentally zoned out and missed it, so I'm going to take a really quick second to find out who this is. Because I don't want to accidentally say something about them that they're not.
Hey, alright, welcome to my channel. My name's Skylar Virgil, I go by the pseudonym of Skylar. And this basically all started
Okay. Alright, so now that I know what's up with that, I'm not exactly sure why he put quotes around trigger warning. I'm going to withhold my judgment on that.
See what's so triggering about, one, using the word vagina, two, using a word that someone's okay with to describe themselves, three, to encourage vagina pride.
Okay. I actually got into a debate about this a few months back, about how, using the word queer is triggering for some people, but it's being reclaimed for others, and, I am still of the very firm standpoint that if a word triggers somebody, do not use that word at them, or to them, or if at all can be avoided, around them, because, using a word that triggers something, be it queer, or vagina, or fucking even the word breasts, using a word that can trigger somebody, like people who have suffered abuse and been called queer as slurs, or people who think of the word vagina and are just reminded that they do not have the parts they want, or people who get told that their breasts aren't noticeable and that triggers a really bad wave of dysphoria. If a word triggers somebody, it's not your fucking place to say, oh, I don't understand this, so I think that we should definitely have pride in this word, and fuck the people who have problems with it, and fuck the people who actually have issues with it. No. That's bullshit. That's like an unmitigated amount of bullshit. That's like... That's really fucked up. Because, well, yeah, a lot of people can have pride like that. A lot of people. Like, if they want to have vagina pride, good for them. I already hashed this out. If they want to have queer pride, like I was talking about, good for them. But if you know that somebody is triggered by something, it doesn't matter if you fucking understand it. What matters is that you need to not purposefully send them into something that could be very, very bad. Like, some people have different levels of trigger. Some people could just feel uncomfortable. Other people could actually have a breakdown. Other people could end up killing themselves over something like that. That's like the two very, very opposite ends of the spectrum. But, like, even in the middle, there's, like, panic attacks and anxiety attacks and, like, dysphoria for days, weeks, a month, maybe more. And it's just... You have to be conscientious of people and how they feel, because that is a really big part of being trans, is paying attention to how people feel, and paying attention to how people react, and paying attention to the people themselves. And that's why it doesn't matter if you don't understand why something fucks with a person. It just matters that you know that it fucks with a person, and that you take the appropriate steps to not purposefully trigger them. Because purposely triggering somebody is just one of the most fucked up things you can do.
Things that I have learned from you guys over the past few months is that vagina does not mean woman. So, if we know and understand that, why do you find fault with having one if you do not have dysphoria?
And if you do have dysphoria,
Okay, I can't even comment on that because I am kind of mad about it.
like I have dysphoria, it's still important to try and love yourself first, because loving yourself and loving your current situation are two completely different things. In the end, everyone has a shared need, which is to love themselves.
A few weeks ago, I did a video on this channel called How to Be Happy. I suggest you go and watch it. It's an amazing video, and the concept that I spoke about there is very similar to the concept that we're going to talk about right now, which is you can't live your life in the future.
Now the problem about that, all of that, from the, why do you find fault in having a vagina if you don't have dysphoria, to, you should love yourself to, all the way to, whatever the hell she just said. I'm actually going to rewind a little bit because I just completely forgot, and that's my bad.
That we're going to talk about right now, which is you can't live your life in the future.
All the way to that. You can't live your life in the future. The problem is, for a lot of trans guys, these future points are what get them through the days. Like, if you don't have something to look forwards to in the future, like, involving this, like, I'm going to tell you right now that my past month and a half has been completely fucked up because I have not known what is going to be going on in my future. I haven't known if I'm going to be able to get to the doctor. I haven't known if I'm going to be able to talk to the doctor about getting on T. I haven't known jack shit, and it feels like my transition has stopped before it's even started. And while I know that I haven't even began to scratch the tip of that iceberg, that the fucking doctors, the psychiatrists, if I have to go to a psychiatrist, I'm hoping I don't, living in the future is a little bit what gets me going through the day. Because, when I had the hope that I would be going to the doctor, I had that to cling to. I had that to wake up to in the mornings, and I would think, hey, only blah 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 more days until I go to the doctor. Hey, only blah 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 more weeks until I get to talk to somebody about this. And, not having that, because now I'm like flat broke and I don't know how I'm gonna get there and shit like that, not having that has completely fucked me up. Like, I've been really fucking depressed. I haven't wanted to do anything because, living in the future a little bit is what was getting me by, and, telling people that living in the future isn't a thing that should be doing, or isn't healthy, or what the fuck ever she said, I think that's a little messed up, because, yeah, living in the moment is really good. Living in the present is good, because it helps you think, and it helps you plan, and, the day-to-day basis is what gets you to the future, but, sometimes living in the future is all a person has at the time. Sometimes that shit is how they wake up in the mornings. And, it's not a cis person's place at all to say where a trans man should be focused. And, yeah.
Right? You can't say, I'll be happy when this happens. And it's the same for trans people. It's the same for gay people. I will love myself when I get bottom surgery. Well, my point is, what if you never do it?
Some people cannot find it in themselves to love themselves until they get these things done. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay, because you shouldn't feel forced to love yourself if you cannot find it within you. You shouldn't feel like you shouldn't be made to feel bad that, like, on top of everything else, you shouldn't be made to feel bad that you cannot find it in yourself to love yourself before these things happen. I've known people so completely fucked up because of dysphoria that I actually knew somebody who said that they could probably never love themselves. And that's heartbreaking to me. Like, that just, I feel so bad for them. And then this video right here basically just says that, the problems that trans men and trans women face, and that the problems that they have to wake up to on a daily basis aren't enough to make it that aren't enough to completely It's basically saying that trans guy problems and gay problems and trans woman problems are not enough to even be taken into consideration.
Doesn't mean that you're gonna be completely happy with it, but you should still love yourself for what you are. So for the people that have bottom dysphoria, it doesn't mean that you don't get it changed or try to fix it. All I'm saying is that it's equally important to love yourself in the present as it is in the past and in the future.
If you can't change something, you got really two options. You can accept it, or you can remove it. No pun intended. And if it's still attached to you, you really have no choice but to try and accept it, to try and love it, or to plan to remove it if that's something that one is able to or wants to do. And accepting it in the meantime, it doesn't mean you're not working towards change. You're not working to make something better. It's important to try and accept things if they're not going to change. So that's where the giant really comes in.
And believe it or not, I think that the real issue in all of this is that people thought that it was okay to get upset with me for telling.
So the real issue is that you, a cis woman who doesn't know how it is to be trans, got criticism for what you were saying. That's the real fucking issue? How fucking... That is one of the most self-centered things I've heard. Like, oh no, I hurt y'all's feelings. But what's really important is that you came and you gave me constructive criticism that I really didn't want. Fucking world's smallest violin.
You to love yourself. I mean, think about that. What is that? Why has society taught us that it is more than okay to live hating ourselves? I am done with this video. I just want...
Good. We'll be done. That's so messed up. Because that right there, that little slip up, it's not even a slip up at this point, that was on purpose. That right there basically goes miles and miles and miles more than I will ever be able to explain how she feels about the feelings of trans people. That it doesn't matter that people got upset over it, because it attacks her. Because she doesn't want to change the way she thinks. Because, apparently, because she's an ally, she's right. That she knows better than the trans community does about what is or isn't offensive. That's messed up. And, I don't even know why people are defending that. Because if she wanted to educate herself, she would have. She would actually be listening to these trans people. She would actually be listening to the outcry against her and the people telling her that what she's doing is kind of fucked up. That what she's doing is actually hurtful because it spreads misinformation and it spreads transphobia even. And it spreads a lot of unhealthy shit. And my heart goes out to any trans person, or even any gay person, any non-heteronormative gender-binary person, literally anybody who's been negatively affected by these videos, because this is the type of thing that trans people and LGBTQA people have been trying to combat, that have been trying to defend themselves against, because the spread of misinformation is what hurts us the most, and we have to deal with this every day. We have to deal with cis people saying that they know better than us, the cis people being the authority on how trans people feel, cis people saying that we need them. And the truth of the matter is, we only need them because they are a majority and they won't let us do things for ourselves. And I find that at its core some of the most messed up shit I've ever seen. And This person is no different. Arielle is no different. And I just don't know how she thinks that it's okay. I'm gonna watch the rest of this video to see if there's anything else.
I get that off my chest. I'm not intended trans, guys. I love you. You will see Sky again here back on
That was a little,
Monday, for Pansexual Week. It happens to be pansexual. I'm not going to give anything else away. I will see you guys back here then. Until then, look inside and to the moon. I love you guys. Good night. Bye. Just in case anyone was still confused, the video on Monday with Ryan was not about trans guys that have bottom dysphoria, Ryan being one of those trans guys. Not all trans guys have bottom dysphoria. And for the guys that do, this video wasn't about you. We already previously made a video on dysphoria. I will link that below for you guys.
Now, I might be misunderstanding this, and if I am, my bad. But if somebody has dysphoria, then why are you asking such weird, invasive questions? I mean, I again am not going to profess to know what the fuck happened behind the scenes, but it really makes me wonder why why she would be asking questions that could potentially trigger dysphoria to somebody who does have that. So yeah, that's how I feel on Arielle's videos. I feel like she is a really good, what not to do. I feel like she's an excellent specimen of how not to be an ally. And I would really have to watch her other videos to be able to give a more comprehensive view of how I feel about her and her concepts and everything. But I really don't have time to go through all of those in this one video. I will probably watch the other ones in my spare time and then maybe make a follow-up video to this to tell you if my opinion on her has changed any, because I am always willing to let my opinions grow and change and shift depending on how a person seems in their other content, because sometimes people will just pick out the worst. But from what I've been hearing and what I've been reading and what I've been seeing and all the videos I've seen from trans people and from non-binary people and shit like that, it seems like this is the norm for her. That she is actually this insensitive all the time in the videos, in her Facebook comments, on her Twitter. Blocking trans people who object to how you're talking is not the way to go. It just kinda shows that you're a little transphobic, that you don't give a shit, that all you really care about is getting paid and the monetization of your videos. And also, I do not know if anybody has noticed this, or if if this was a secret or anything. I'm actually going to scroll down a little bit and check. She didn't mention it in the description, so I'm going to go ahead and say that she tried to sneak this by. But, the Are Butch Lesbians Transgender video actually used to be called Can You Tell Which Person is Trans? And I honestly feel like that's just sticking trans people up in a line against the wall, and I feel like it's extremely disrespectful. I feel like she is trying to hide that disrespectful title to avoid even more whiplash. I feel like it's not her trying to set it right. I feel like she's trying to hide it and bury it. And I'm not okay with that. And yeah. That's how I feel about Arielle Scarcella. And if you want to make a video of your own about this, I greatly encourage you to do so, because that is what will help the trans community. The opinions and voices of other trans men and trans women, and that is what we need, not some cis ally trying to speak for us and above us, like in the most recent Teas and Kikis, actually. They mentioned that, and that's a really good watch. Y'all should probably go view that too. Just, you know, look up Arielle Scarcella, Teas and Kikis, Google it, look it up on YouTube. Hell, you could even ask me for a link. I'm not gonna go ahead and link that in the description down there. But yeah, I'll also be linking to other videos that I find very informative as to why what she is doing and saying and how she is responding to the trans community's outcry against what she's been saying. I'm going to be linking to videos like that because it explains it really well. And it gives a voice to the problem. That isn't just her saying that trans men are angry, or that we should get over it. Because that's not the voice that this issue needs. That is very much not the voice that this issue needs. So, yeah. If you like this video, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. I will probably be doing more videos like this in the future if issues come up, and even if they don't, I'm still going to try to be doing bi-weekly, or like twice a week even, videos about things that I face day-to-day basis, being pre-everything FTM trans. So yeah, Sam out. Peace.